In the Italian kitchen, this would be very necessary. Or you can use something like this, which is imported by Rowocco and Company, and that's a much lighter product, but it'll work fine. And it's certainly much cheaper. It's about $15. Or, there, I'm just about finished. Or, if you really want to do this up properly, let me show you one more trick. Use a piece of wax paper, put it on top of the meat, and club it with a 2x4. Works great, saves you a fortune. You didn't think I'd do it, did you? Look at it go. Okay, we're done. You see, we can't get the thing much bigger than that. Now then, on our steak, we're going to roll this up, you see, and pan fry it and then cook it with tomato sauce. On our steak, we want to put a couple of cloves of garlic, first of all. Get some space over here to work. There we go. A couple cloves of garlic. Always garlic and olive oil in Italy. Isn't it marvelous? That's a really big clove. I think one's probably going to do us. It's just an enormous monster. Look at that. Isn't that great? And then we'll add some garlic, some olive oil to this and just rub it right in, making an olive oil and garlic paste. In it goes. All right, right onto the meat. There we go. Now we're going to add some salt and pepper to that. If we can get the olive oil off my hands. Wow, slip and kill yourself here today. Bit of salt and pepper. Very little salt. You don't need much, you know. We're going to try and cut down. And we're going to line this now with a strip of grated carrots. This is a vegetable stuffed round steak. And some zucchini. Slices of zucchini, thin slices. This is a kick. Yes, it will work. I can hear you. It's just saying, how's he going to roll that thing up? He's going to have it so stuffed it'll explode. That's my problem. You just hang on. And how about some egg? We're going to quickly slice some hard-boiled eggs and put those on the center here. Isn't this beautiful? Oh. Remember, the poor cow has given all she could give for you. Look at that. First time I use this thing and it breaks on me. You see, you cannot buy cooking gear that's cheap and get by. You've got to buy good things. It's just not worth it to buy cheap stuff. There we go. All right. Now then, we need a bit of grated cheese. Excuse me, I've got to get some grated cheese out of the refrigerator. When you buy cheese, for heaven's sakes, remember that it's worth your time to grate cheese. As soon as I can figure out where I put one here. Well, here we go. My refrigerator is so packed. This is the old larder of the world, you see. We're very lucky because in the old days, your larder was a desperate place. It was always one temperature, warm, you see. But this doesn't have to happen. All right, let's put some grated Italian. This happens to be an Asiago cheese. It's a great cheese for pasta, any kind of cooking. Asiago, but Romano or Parmesan will work just as well. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Now we're going to roll that rascal up. You've got that? We have olive oil and garlic that we've rubbed into the meat. Then we've pounded into, we've pushed into it 3 hard-boiled eggs, some carrots, zucchini, some grated cheese, and we put a little salt and pepper in that. And we're ready to go. Here we go now. Oh, wait a minute. Hold it. Before we roll this, we've got to get some string. And you've got to break the string first because otherwise, cut the string first because otherwise your hands will be so covered with olive oil that you'll never make it. There's one. I'll need about, I suppose 4 pieces of string for this one. This is good kite string. Don't try cheap linen string in your kitchen. You've got to have good stuff to tie this rascal up. I've done this before with flank steak. As a matter of fact, I did that on another show a long time ago. And flank steak has become so expensive that it's just crazy. Just awful. Okay, here we are. Just start rolling them up now. Let's see, I've got to pull a flap here. You see what I've got is I've got 2 pieces of meat, so I have to lay one over the other. There we go, and that'll work. You understand what I'm saying? Shingle layer them, you see? Put one over the other so that you can roll this rascal up. There we go. Now we'll just tightly pull him in. You're going to have something here, something occur when you're tying this up that is called, in the food world, a very highly technical term, called fallout. So be careful. Just tighten him up well. There he goes. Just keep pushing and pulling, tightening here. There he goes. Looks like a mess on the board, but wait till you see this in the pan. Now we'll tie him up thusly. I'm using the A&P knot, you know? You know what that is? The old knot was a half granny was one through the circle, right, and it would always slip. But go through a second time. That's what they used to teach the old A&P box boys in the days when we had box boys. Do you remember that? Boy, you must be 90 years old. I remember too, and I'm not 90, but there we go. We still have box boys in the West Coast. I don't see them much in the Midwest or in the East, though. Okay, box boy, A&P knot. See, and it holds tight. You don't have to have somebody put their finger. You can't call the family and say, here, put your finger in my olive oil. Get out here and help. Actually, they should help. It's amazing how much better your kids will eat if you've had them out in the kitchen helping with the meal. And I don't mean doing the dishes. I mean doing something creative and marvelous. Okay, there he is. Now then, I'm going to brown him severely in a hot pan. Get a pan here. I don't have time to brown this whole one for you because it's going to take a few minutes, you see. You're going to have to work on this for about 10 minutes in a hot pan. But oil your pan with good peanut oil. And remember, heat the pan first, then put the oil in after the pan is hot. And you're going to have to arrange this critter in a circle in your pan, you see, like so. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to fit the pan. Unless you have a long, long, skinny frying pan. I've never seen one, but maybe you have one. There he is. He's going to brown him for a while. When he's good and brown, turn him over, brown him again, and put about 2 cups of tomato sauce or good pasta sauce, your favorite one, sure, on top. He's browned, you see, and now we're going to put this on top and put him in a 350-degree oven for about an hour or so. And let me show you what you get. Are you ready? Are you ready? My whole kitchen just smells like heaven. At least I hope heaven's going to smell like this. If it smells like something else, I don't know. I just don't know if I want to get involved. It's got to smell like an Italian kitchen. There. I have a friend who's convinced the Holy Spirit's Italian. I don't know. There it is. Now, I need a pot fork, and we'll get him out and slice him up for you. Wow, let me clear off a spot here first. There he is. The trouble with cooking is that you're cooking. And when you cook, you make a big mess. My kitchen's always a mess, and I don't mind. I hate clean kitchens. They're the mark of perverted people. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful roast. Now, as we slice this, you're going to see treasures in the center. Yes, he did shrink a little bit. You were kind to notice. He did shrink. Of course he shrunk. But look what you see in the center. Isn't that gorgeous? Talk about lovely things. I'm just going to use my fingers to arrange these. Ouch. Because your hands work much better than any device you can find in the kitchen for this sort of thing. And we'll put the rest of the roast right here. Well, let's see. Let me cut that end off and serve that later. Now, the remaining sauce, rather than pour the sauce over the top and cover up the entire beauty here, let's do this. Let's agree that we're burning our hands off, first of all. Thank you. Let's agree that the sauce should go on the side of the dish, you see? Now, this sauce is also heaven for pasta. We need a sprig of parsley here in the center. There we are. This is just heavenly for pasta. And here you have a rolled, vegetable-stuffed round steak that will really do it for your table. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, we have 2 dishes now from Italy. One being the brisket with the Italian sauce, and then a rolled round steak. And now let me show you how to eat meat raw, beef raw. Why would I do such a thing? Well, because I want you to cut down on consumption of beef, on consumption of meat of every kind, not just beef, but all kinds, and enjoy them more. So I'm going to show you how to eat just a few little slices of beef raw and call it absolutely marvelous. I have in the refrigerator. Let me show you. Here we go. Where did I put the other piece? Here it is. What I've done is to very thinly slice a round roast, bottom round, you see, very, very thin. I'm going to show you how you can do this just so quickly. If I can get my knives cleaned off here. Look at all the tomato sauce. It spreads, you know. It spreads like the great tomato sauce that ate Newark. All right, here you go. Slice this is frozen, by the way, very lightly frozen, you see, so it's good and firm. And slice this stuff paper thin, very, very thin. And then arrange these slices on a platter. Look how thin this is. You see, I worked hard on that earlier today. Isn't that beautiful? This is called, in Italy, is called carpaccio. Carpaccio. And on the top of the carpaccio, for dinner, for an hors d'oeuvre perhaps, or for a main course on a summer evening, we're going to sprinkle the carpaccio with the following goodies. A tiny, tiny, tiny bit of salt. Just a smidgen, okay? And of course, lots of pepper. This is Italian. Lots of pepper. There we are. And then on the top of that, we're going to put some olive oil. Isn't this fun? We can just eat like mad. We're going to sprinkle some olive oil. I just use my finger, you see, to keep the top from going too far. But that's how they do it in good restaurants. There's some marvelous Italian restaurants in Chicago. You know that my kitchen is in Chicago, and I'm full of Italian food. Marvelous Italian kitchens here. All right, we have olive oil and salt and pepper. Now we need some lemon. We'll put a bit of lemon juice on him. Watch those pits there. There we go. Just a smidgen. Oh, there we are. And of course we need some cheese. Where did I put my cheese grater, gang? Here's the cheese grater. Where's the cheese? There it is. Some good Asiago, Parmigiano Romano. That's enough. There we are. And then we need some capers. And capers are that heavenly little seed that tastes something like an nasturtium seed, but of course it's not. There we are. And that's the dish. Now, let me show you what to make it. If you want to make it really fancy, then you bring in a basil plant. The Greeks call it basilico. And I just happen to have one. No Italian, good Italian kitchen would be without this plant. Fresh basil is marvelous. The Greeks call it basilico because, well, that's the word from which we get the word basilica, you know, or a cross-shaped church. Basilica, because they claim that basil was found growing at the foot of the cross. Isn't that a marvelous story? I don't know whether it's true. I have no idea. It doesn't really matter, does it? The story is valid anyhow. Let's put one more on there, and we're ready to taste these 3 dishes that I've made for you today. Italian dishes, classic beef dishes. And let me get a fork. I can't wait for this one. Don't ask me what my favorite is. It wasn't fair to ask in the first place. I think that the brisket... Well, no, I can't tell you. I think maybe the carpaccio is my favorite. I'm going to try it right now. You see, the idea is to take one piece of meat and roll it up with a basil leaf, or just serve it without the basil. If you don't have any basil, it's no problem. You see, no problem at all. Are we ready? Marvelous. Now, the point of today's session was this. You and I can enjoy beef, but we've got to cut down on animal fat of all sorts. So I suggest these 3 dishes. First of all, a beef brisket with Italian tomato sauce. Italian tomato green sauce. No tomato at all. Italian green sauce. Secondly, a stuffed rolled round steak, vegetable stuffed, and finally carpaccio. Enjoy yourself, but be sure that you cut down on animal fat so that you and I can spend much more time together in the future. We need to live and enjoy the world. Until we meet again, then, this is the Frugal Gourmet. I bid you peace. Bye-bye.